Hello, everyone. Happy New Year. It's been a while. I've missed you, but I've definitely taken some time to rest over the holiday. I hope you have as well, and that you feel re-energized for the new year. I wanted to come on today to talk about a couple things. The first is that this past Tuesday was our very first Q&A for conscious conception students of the new year. And so if you are a conscious conception student and couldn't make it, just a heads up that the recording will be posted in the course over the next few days. So keep an eye out for that. The second announcement, also for conscious conception students or anyone interested in taking conscious conception, the course, I am still working through those updates that I mentioned a couple weeks ago, but I'm getting closer and I'm super excited to share them with you. And in case you're curious what they are, they include additional lab testing options, also more information about folliculogenesis and the development of the follicle and egg maturation. So super interesting stuff. I really loved nerding out on that stuff. And the meatiest updates, so cool. They're going to be additional supplements that you can take during TTC and into pregnancy, and they include things like how to supplement bioidentical progesterone, various herbs, specific nutrients for MTHFR, PCOS, etc. So really excited to get these updates out to you, and I'll announce it in the private Facebook group and here as well. I also want to talk about Monday's post really quick. And so Monday's post was essentially about the opportunity that's in front of us when it comes to preconception prep and conception. And so one of the reasons I decided to so heavily focus on preconception prep is because beyond getting pregnant faster or reducing pregnancy complication risk or increasing resilience and healing time postpartum, one of the biggest opportunities that we have is to literally change the trajectory of our children's health and our children's health, which is awesome. Now, I full well know that preconception prep, not everyone has the opportunity to do it. It is a luxury in a sense, and some of you may also be like, wow, the information she's sharing is a little bit overwhelming, but I personally look at this information as an opportunity. It's presenting me with an opportunity rather than it being a burden or something to be worried or fearful about, because that's not what I'm trying to instill here. And I'll definitely explain why in just a bit. So in Monday's post, we talked about the concept of fetal programming. And this is essentially the environment that your baby experiences in utero, so in your womb, can essentially influence their health for the rest of their life. And so their physiology and their metabolic function is being programmed, and it starts getting programmed at the moment of conception. And it's influenced throughout that 9 months in utero as well. There's also the concept of imprinting, and this is essentially the same thing, but it's the idea that we imprint our nutritional status, our hormonal health, our metabolic function, our microbiome health, and our trauma onto our future children as well. And this starts at the moment of conception too. Now, there are many examples of these two concepts, and I think one of the most well-known one is a historical example, and that is the Dutch famine, which took place in the Netherlands in the 1940s, shortly after the Second World War. And what researchers did was they studied the outcomes of pregnancies that took place during the famine and looked at what happened to their children and their children's children, and etc. So what they found was that women that were pregnant during this famine, their babies were more likely to be at risk for being overweight, have hypertension, a very high blood pressure, and also have coronary heart disease. And they saw this through not only their babies, but their children's children as well. So not only the first generation, but the second generation after that. Another example is, another study done on women with poor blood sugar control during pregnancy and how it increased their child's risk for diabetes later in life exponentially. So there's just so many examples of this. And that said, some of you might have mixed emotions around this, but I know many of you are also super hungry for this information as well. Because imagine being told that you have XYZ issue and that your baby will likely have XYZ issue. And this is something you've heard from family members or, doctors as you've grown up. And based on what I've told you so far, clearly we have the opportunity to change this trajectory. And that's why this information is so empowering. And this huge opportunity is literally why I created my course, Conscious Conception, with Dr. Britt. And it's so that you can have the tools and the confidence that you need to understand your physiology, to have the tools to step into conception with your best foot forward, and also potentially change the trajectory of your future child's life. One of the other reasons I'm super passionate about this topic is because my own mother had preeclampsia with me when she was pregnant with me, and just having heard her birth story, her sort of status while she was pregnant, her pregnancy experience, it's definitely related to how my health has evolved and developed over time. And it's important to me because I'm personally in my second trimester of preconception prep, and conscious conception students, you know exactly what that is. But as a result, I've been doing a lot of work on myself, not only, in this sort of preconception phase, but over my lifetime, but especially in this preconception phase, because I have, an additional risk for blood sugar imbalances, mineral imbalances, the way that my body responds, my central nervous system responds to things, especially stress. And so this is something that I've been focused on during this preconception phase. And I'm definitely happy to share more about my personal preconception prep. I know that many of you have asked me for that, so super excited to share more about that over the coming weeks. But yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, preconception prep and pregnancy, there's a huge opportunity in front of us. And if we take the opportunity, there's just so much potential for so much to happen, and the trajectories to go in such a positive way. And so I hope you found this informational. I have to run because I'm going to be late for tacos tonight, but I'll be back soon, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week.